Hello folks, this is a tutorial for the LEU game development workshop. Um, uh, this will include the material that we assigned during the first session. I don't think I'll be making a tutorial for the first session because it covers the basics. In this tutorial we'll be covering the examples we did in Kismet, the basic tutorials in Kismet, and learn how to basically understand how to visual script. Yeah, using Kismet. So, we'll start off with this map, with this configuration. Basically, you just go File, New. You choose either one of those four. I'll choose night lighting. Yeah. Okay. So, what is Kismet? Kismet is a visual scripting system made by Epic, the creators of the UDK and Unreal Engine 3, which the UDK is based on. You use Kismet to add interactivity to your world. Basically, you when you want sliding doors, when you want to open doors, when you want lights to flicker, when you want interactive sequences to trigger, uh, either from either you trigger them or an NPC, non-player controlled character. Use Kismet to simplify that process of interactivity. Kismet requires inputs, which you will place in that world. Inputs can range from static meshes, interactors, triggers. They can be set off by you or an NPC. So, and almost anything you place in your world can be an input to be placed in Kismet. Alright, so we'll start off by placing a trigger. Basically, a trigger is, think of it as something you will interact with so you can make something else happen in the world. And how we're going to place that trigger by pressing on this surface right here, and let's just minimize this, and add actor, add trigger. Alright, we want this trigger to be visible when we play, so if we select this trigger and press F4, we'll open the properties. If we search for hidden, display hidden here, and we uncheck that, the trigger will appear when we play the game. Alright, now since we have that set up, let's go into Kismet. Close that. This is the Kismet button here, green K with that weird arrow on the end. And basically, in order to it's a node-based system. You'll understand what I mean by nodes later on. Basically, you want this trigger to be found here, and the way to do that is to highlight this trigger, right-click, and aside from these options, you'll see if you don't have anything selected and you press here, alright, you have those, but it's different. You'll see when you press the trigger and you go new object var using trigger 0 and new event using trigger. This will create an object that we can use later on, which instantiates this trigger. Now, we want an event to happen when we use this trigger, so we go to that new event using trigger, and we have several options here. We have touch, destroy, take damage, hit, etc. And these specify the kind of action required for that trigger to be in effect used. So we're gonna just say that whenever we touch this trigger, meaning whenever we collide with a collision box, which is this green sphere, whenever we collide with this green sphere, we want something to happen. So touch, okay? And this is the node. This is the node that instantiates this trigger. And you see we have several options: touched, untouched, and empty. So what do we want to do when this trigger is touched? Say we want a light to go on and off. We place a light by Sorry, excuse me. We place a light by going into, let's just close that, by going into the content browser, which is when you, let me close that, sorry, okay, and you go into your actor classes, under lights, point lights, point light movable. Alright, let's just place a point light movable. We select the point light movable, put it out of the way, right click, add point light movable here. If you have lit mode on, you'll see that it's giving out a small shimmer. So if you go into the properties of the light by pressing F4, let's just change the settings of the light. Let's put the radius at 100. See, now it stopped illuminating the surfaces around it, and let's increase the brightness of the light, which is found under light components. Let's just put it, just put the value 30. Alright, see, now it's very bright. And let's change the color. Let's put it orange. Yeah, I like orange. Yep, darker orange. And if you close that, alright, we have a light. Okay, against the box. So now, when we touch this trigger, let me just show you how this trigger appears in our world by right-clicking on the surface and play from here. Alright, so basically we have that trigger here, and we have the light in front of us. Alright, so when I touch the trigger, I want this light to turn off. Okay, so there are numerous ways to do that, but I'm gonna use a toggle node. And if my memory serves me correct, the toggle node is under, if you right click, new action, toggle, toggle. Alright, this is a node that toggles, it's pretty self-explanatory, toggles on and off things in your world. So basically, when we want to touch it, we want to turn it off. Okay, but what does this turn off? You see, I didn't right click and pressed on a new event using setting. It didn't indicate what it wants to turn off, so it needs a target, and we assign the target by clicking on the light. Okay, and we right click on the target on this indicator, and we click on a new object var using point light movable, and this instantiates the light to the toggle. Okay, so let's try it out. Right click, play from here, and if we go, voila, it turns off. Okay, so, but it doesn't make sense that the light is basically. Alright, let's change that. Okay, let's make it that the light is off, and we want to turn it on by touching the trigger. And how do we do that? We basically want, whenever the world starts, we want the light to be off, but it's on, it's naturally on. So we need a condition, we need a node that sets the light off whenever the map loads. And fortunately for us, we have such a thing. We have a new event, we go under the new event option, and level loaded. A level loaded node basically gives us options to do whenever the map is loaded and visible, or the beginning of the level, or level reset, for instance, when the player dies. So whenever the level is loaded and visible, we want to turn off the light, and when we touch the trigger, we want to turn it on. And when it's untouched, wait, no, I'm just gonna do this gradually. Okay, so you see, it's off now, and if you touch the trigger, it's on. Okay, now, and when we want to untouch this trigger, when it's not touched, we want to turn it off. So play from here, go off. Alright, why didn't it turn off? You see, each one of those nodes has properties. Let me maximize this. Each one of those nodes has properties. The properties of the trigger touch are set whenever you create it, are set to the default values. And there's an option, there's a property here, max trigger count is 1, which means that we can use the trigger only one time. and if we want to use it numerous times, we just replace the value 1 by 0, and that means it's infinite. We can use it as many times as we want. Alright, so yeah, basically we'll delve into all these properties later when we start making more advanced puzzles. Alright, so now if we try it out, go. Alright, see, basically the collision radius is very small, so that's why whenever I move away a bit, it turns off. But as you can see, I can turn it on, turn it off as many times as I want. Okay, so that concludes the first part of the second workshop that we did. I'm gonna try and not go over 10-12 minutes each tutorial, because I may upload them to YouTube later on. I think I have a 15-minute limit on the videos, but I don't wanna make more. I don't want the videos to be longer than 12 minutes. So I'll see you in the next video.